The climate of Morocco, semi-arid or arid in the Mediterranean type, is marked by very high rainfall variability in both space and time. The available resources are made up of groundwaters or water tables and surface water, namely lakes, rivers, and streams. Precipitation, which averages 140 billion cubic meters of water per year, is not only very unevenly distributed over the country, but also most of this water evaporates or is discharged at sea. The potential waters that can be used presently amount to 22 billion cubic meters, including 4 billion cubic meters of groundwater and 18 billion cubic meters of surface water. This rainfall map shows that overall precipitation amounts to more than 2,000 millimeters per year in the mountainous areas in the north that does not exceed 100 millimeters in the large arid areas of the south. Surface water runoffs are dependent on rainfall. Usually violent and fast, floods are the key water inflows for most rivers. The northern basins, such as those of Lucos, Tangier, and the Mediterranean coastal rivers, cover 7% of Morocco's surface area and account for 51% of the country's water resources. The distribution of rainfall over time is also very uneven, with strong annual and interannual irregularity. The country can experience very dry years followed by very wet years with a rainfall ratio ranging from 1 to 10. Groundwater is a potential available resource assessed at 4 billion cubic meters. It is a valuable asset, hardly renewable, that should be used sparingly. Groundwater contributes to irrigate more than 500,000 hectares of agricultural land annually. No less than 103 main aquifers of varying importance have been inventoried at the national level, of which the most significant have a regional size. 83 are shallow aquifers and 20 are deep water tables. It is worthy of note that the 10 largest aquifer systems in Morocco cover a total area of about 81,000 square kilometers, or nearly 11% of the country's surface area. Closely related to surface waters, aquifers also have the advantage of providing very high storage capacities, with a very low flow, in addition to the benefit of offering good quality, ease of use, and relatively low costs.
Il y a un certain nombre de nappes qui sont aptes à la recherche artificielle. Donc il y a parallèlement un programme de recherche qui va permettre de reconstituer les stocks sous-exploités.
Morocco has embarked for years now on the path of managing its water resources through the implementation of major water infrastructure intended to ensure all the country's needs without significant difficulty. A large-scale water mobilization through the dam construction policy, initiated in the 1960s, enabled the country to build 135 large dams with a total capacity of 17.5 billion cubic meters, thousands of boreholes and wells, and 13 structures of interbasin water transfer. Drinking water supply in urban areas reaches connection rates of 94%, while the coverage rate amounts to 92% in rural areas. Sewerage systems ensure an overall connection rate of 72%, and wastewater treatment plants achieve a purification rate of 24%. The irrigation of large agricultural sectors cover 1.5 million hectares. Some large dams supply hydroelectric plants with a total installed capacity of 2,700 megawatts. These dams contribute to protection from flood and drought. Watershed management through reforestation. National administrative, engineering, and corporate capabilities have been developed. This is evidenced by the Water Law 1095, which deals with institutional matters through decentralization and consultation, the institutionalization of the High Council of Water and Climate, the creation of water basin agencies, and provincial and prefectural water committees. Planning, with the integrated development plans of water resources at the regional level. Quantitative protection of water resources through the creation of safeguard perimeters where water withdrawals are banned, in addition to quantitative protection by setting up protection perimeters. Last, the financial sector by applying the user pays and polluter pays principles, providing thus water basin agencies with the financial means to implement resource protection programs. Water demand will increase due to economic and social development of the country, where the annual per capita water availability dropped from 2,560 cubic meters in 1960 to 730 cubic meters in 2012, placing the country in a state of water stress, and water availability will further fall to 680 cubic meters per inhabitant per year by 2020. The overexploitation of groundwater is becoming dramatic. The capacity of groundwater continues to diminish nowadays due to the combined effects of drought and overuse. Excessive groundwater pumping amounted in 2011 to 1 billion cubic meters of non-renewable natural water resources. Moreover, Morocco is among the zones most affected by climate change. The Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change, IPCC, predicts by 2100 an increase in temperature by 2 to 4 degrees, a drop in rainfall by 5% to 20%, and an increased frequency of extreme events with longer and more frequent drought periods and violent flash floods. The reduction in water inflows appears clearly on the graph showing the evolution of surface water supplies in Morocco. During the past 38 years, 20 of them were drought years, some of which affected the whole country. It occurred sometimes that water deficit exceeded 50% and the length of the dry period reached 5 years or more in some regions. Meanwhile, extreme floods were recorded during the 2008-2011 period in many regions of the kingdom. These floods resulted in significant economic losses and human and material damages. The loss of waters flowing into the sea for the sole hydrological year of 2009-2010 was estimated at 37 billion cubic meters. Inefficient use of water was observed in irrigated areas, with leaks in the distribution networks leading to a loss of up to 40% at the land plot. Lower water levels in natural lakes and low flows in some springs. Watershed degradation, which increases runoff, exacerbating thus the phenomena of flooding and silting of dams. The degradation of water quality on account of raw sewage discharges. To meet these challenges and keep up with economic and social growth, 6 fundamental axes have been identified for the development of water resources in the Horizon 2030. The first component focuses on demand management and water valuation in order to save 2.5 billion cubic meters per year. This water saving will be achieved by converting gravity irrigation into drip irrigation, improving yields of irrigation systems in agriculture, and by reducing, in urban areas, the leakage of drinking water supply networks. The second component deals with supply development and management to meet the inevitable growth in demand. The purpose is to mobilize 2.5 billion cubic meters per year of water resources. The development of 60 large dams by 2003, made up of desalinated seawater, reuse of wastewater after treated, rainwater harvesting. The third component consists in preserving and protecting water resources, the natural environment and sensitive areas. A sustainable management of groundwater resources involving a participatory management by all the sectors concerned with safeguarding strategic resources, the aquifer contract.
C'est-à-dire, on fait l'étude de la nappe, l'état actuel, et puis on fait la simulation dans le futur. Alors, avec la simulation dans le futur, si on a des baisses actuellement, on surexploite. Si on continue à exploiter d'ici, disons, 20 ans, on va voir qu'il y aura un assèchement par la suite. Il y a des enjeux qui sont prévus. Il y aura des pertes des périmètres agricoles, il y aura la migration d'un certain nombre d'agriculteurs.
The fourth component aims to reduce the vulnerability to flood risks and to adapt to climate change through improving the protection of people and property against flooding, which consists in integrating flood risks within land use planning, urban planning, and watershed management plans, and developing flood forecasting and warning and emergency plans. The fifth component provides for continuing the regulatory and institutional reforms, in addition to legal and regulatory studies, and establishing a water police department. The sixth and last component addresses the modernization of information systems and the deployment of increased resources and skills. The issue is about modernizing the measurement networks, strengthening research and development, upgrading the administration and the logistics information systems, and developing skills. Located in the zone most affected by climate change, Morocco relies thus on a national water strategy and implements it to reduce the effect of scarcity and climate change and to ensure the availability of water, which is necessary for the country's socio-economic development while safeguarding the interests of future generations.